Hi, my name is Isabel, and today we are going to teach you how to make two DIY stress balls. One we are going to make out of a balloon and flour, and then the other we are going to make out of a sock, a used sock, and rice or beans. So stay tuned for instructions. For the balloon stress ball, you're going to need one balloon. This can be any color or type. I would recommend either a regular balloon or a large balloon. You're going to need a Sharpie or another kind of pen. You can use any kind of marker. It doesn't have to be permanent in case you're worried about staining. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. You can do this without scissors, but you can have them there if you want to. Just make sure you have adult supervision to make sure no one gets hurt. You're going to want some kind of funnel. This is the one I have on hand. You're also going to need a spoon or measuring spoon. This can be any kind of spoon. This is just one out of my kitchen. Then you're going to need a jar or container of flour. You can just pick a little bag up at the store or use whatever you have on hand. This is just regular plain old flour. It doesn't need to be any kind of special flour. Hi, so to get started, we are going to do our balloon stress ball. The one I have here is blue. I would recommend something to scoop your flour with. I just have a regular old tablespoon. And then I would also recommend a basin or plate, something to catch the extra flour as it pulls out, because it will get just a little bit messy. So with the balloon stress ball, we are going to be using flour. Any kind of flour works. Anything that you have on hand, you can use that. It doesn't matter what kind of flour you have. So let's go ahead and get started. So you're also going to want some kind of funnel. If you don't have one, that's okay, but it's helpful if you do. So you're going to just place your funnel on top of your balloon, and then you're going to want to scoop very small amounts of flour at a time, because otherwise it will get stuck in your funnel. And you're going to do that until the entire balloon is full. So once your balloon is full, you're going to try not to overfill it. You just want to kind of shimmy all of the flour down, again, over your basin, so that way you don't make a huge mess. And you're just going to kind of like tap, 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 shake, 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 shake the balloon. And this is going to get all of that flour, so that way it's not in the little end of the balloon, but rather in the ball part. And you don't want it too full. This is about a good amount of full, where it's still squishy, but there's obviously something in there. And then you're just going to tie it off. We do 2 fingers on the underside of the balloon, wrap the tail of the balloon around those 2 fingers, and then you're going to put the tail of the balloon inside of the hole. And I always recommend, if you can't get it on the first couple tries because there is flour in there and it can get rather messy, asking a friend or an adult for help. So now you have your little bitty stress ball. And mine has a little bit of tail, but you can always tie the knot lower to have more of a tail. And this is where you get to personalize it. So now that your balloon is done, mine has just like a little bitty tail, but you can always tie the knot lower down to have more of a tail, because that's going to be the hair of our stress ball guy. So now you can personalize it however you want. This is where the Sharpie or other type of marker comes in handy. And we're just going to draw a cute little face. Any kind of face that you want. Like I am going to draw just a little eye. Just like that. With crazy eyelashes. And a funky mouth. This is my stress ball guy. He's doing all right, and the mouth is all filled in because you can't really see inside of it. And you can make your stress ball guy whoever you want your stress ball guy to be. Mine is a cyclops with a cute little nose and a funky mouth, because that's what I imagine to make me feel better when I'm all stressed out because of a test or anything like that. So you can make your stress ball guy whoever you want. And now you can just squeeze and play with your stress ball guy as much as you want. If you use a different kind of pen and not a Sharpie, make sure you let the face dry, otherwise it will transfer onto your fingers when you play with it. But there you go. That is your balloon and flower stress ball. So you can kind of play and squeeze it as much as you want when you're feeling anxious or worried, or if you just want something to fiddle with. And it's a cute, funky little guy. Kind of look back at you and tell you everything's all right. So now that we've created our balloon stress ball, what do you do if maybe you don't have a balloon, or you don't have flour on hand, or you don't have the availability to go out and get balloons? Well, I feel like, at least me, but most of us probably have old socks laying around that we don't use anymore, that don't fit us, or that have holes and things. This one doesn't have any holes, but it doesn't really fit me anymore. So I'm going to use this sock. It's polka dotted, and I think it's really fun and exciting. So for this stress ball, we're going to use old socks and rice or beans if you have it, any kind of squishy, malleable, easy to get kitchen materials. For our sock stress balls, these are the materials you are going to need. You're going to need one sock. This can be any kind of sock that you have on hand that maybe has holes in the length of it or is too old or small for you to wear anymore. You're going to need a Sharpie. You can also use a fabric marker or puffy paint or any kind of writing implement that you want to use. Since you're not going to be washing the stress ball, you can also use just a regular pen. That's up to you, if in case you're worried about staining by the Sharpie. You're going to want a pair of scissors. Again, you can do this without scissors, but it's a lot more cool when you can add hair to your sock stress ball. You're going to want a spoon. This is just the same spoon that I used for the balloon stress ball. And then you're going to want some kind of rice. This is just the rice that I had on hand. You can also use beans or any other kind of kitchen implement that you have on hand. You're not going to want to use flour or a powder with a sock because it can start leaking through the holes in the fabric. So just like with our balloon stress ball, the first thing we're going to do is fill our stress ball. Again, we're going to need some kind of basin so that way our rice or beans don't go everywhere. And if it's a small sock, you can use your funnel again, but if it's not a small sock, you don't really need the funnel. So we're still going to use our spoon to help get the rice into the sock, and we're going to go ahead and start filling it up. So for this one, since it's super long and I'm not going to leave it the length, I am going to roll up the end of the sock, so that way it's a little bit easier to work with, about this length. And I'm just going to hold that edge open up my rice container or beans. And I would recommend, especially with little ones, that you put the rice or beans in some kind of container like this or like this, so that way it's easy to scoop out of rather than a plastic bag where the rice can end up going places. So we're going to hold out our sock, make sure it's nice and open, and then we're going to just slowly start filling it up with rice. And you got the bowl. You can get this sock is big, personal if you want it. I think mine actually gets inside my stress ball bag, my balloon stress ball bag. You just want to keep that sock nice and open. And you want to fill it up about the same size as your fist. So just a little bit more. So now that we're done filling up our sock, I unraveled mine, and now we're going to tie it off just like we did with the balloon. So we're going to grab our two fingers, we're going to put them here, rotate our sock around, and then push our tail through. And then we can go ahead and tie that off nice and tight. If you need help with the knot, you can always ask a friend or your parent or sibling like that. And then there you go. There's your little sock guy. So the next step in your sock stress ball is to give it a little bit of personality, just like we did with the balloon. So for this one, you can use your Sharpie again or a different marker. If you have fabric markers, those work great. Really anything you have on hand. You won't really be washing this too often, so that's not too far of a concern. So for mine, I'm going to just kind of flatten it out with the rice or the beans that's inside, make a little nice workspace to work on. And since mine has this nice little line right here, I'm going to go ahead and use that to create my face. And you can do any kind of face that you want. For me, I am going to do nice big smile like that. Connect it and darken it. Kind of make those like the blushes of the cheeks. And I kind of like the Cyclops theme, so I'm going to make this eyeball my eye to my Cyclops, who's smiling all big. And again, you can make this any kind of creature or person or personality that you want. This is just mine. It's a cute little Cyclops who's smiling at me because everything's gonna be super dandy and awesome. And I'm gonna give this one a cute little nose too, because why not? I like the cute little nose. And ta-da! There's the face of my sock stress ball. So now that we got the faces on our sock stress ball, I think mine came out super cute, my little smiling Cyclops. Now we get to add hair if we want. If you did this on a just regular sized ankle sock, then you may not end up with a little bit of hair, and then obviously this one has a long bit, so I'm actually going to cut this off. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your scissors, and you're going to want to cut along the heel bit right here. So you're going to cut along that line right there, kind of shorten the hair, give it a nice little haircut so it's not sticking out too long. You're going to take your scissors, and you're going to have a friend or yourself hold it out, and you're just going to cut right along that heel line. Be very careful with your fingers and the scissors. And then voila! This is the new hair to my sock guy. And now we get to give it a hairstyle. And this, again, can be anything that you want. I think I'm going to give mine a lot of hair this time. So you're just going to make cuts along the fabric to make hair. So you're going to make as many or as little cuts as you want to give your guy some hair. This is my guy's hair. He's rocking a mullet because I love it. Got some business hair in the front and his party hair with his matching heel filler on the back. So, or maybe it's a bow, maybe it's going to a party, whatever you want. Be fun and creative with it. So now your sock stress ball is complete and you can smush and whoosh this as much as you want. Just make sure that knot is awfully tight before you start. Again, if you use fabric markers or puffy paint or anything else, you want to make sure that the face is dry before you start touching it, because otherwise it can rub off on your fingers. The great thing about the sock one versus the balloon one is you can make it a lot bigger, but also there's less chance that it may pop on you and get flour or rice everywhere. So there you go. Have fun with both of your DIY stress balls.
Today I'm going to show you how to make this at-home DIY bird feeder. These are the materials you will need for this project. You'll need a toilet paper roll insert, peanut butter, a spoon, bird seed, string, and scissors. The first step is to coat the toilet paper roll with peanut butter. You might want to place a plate underneath because this step can be a little messy. Once the toilet paper roll is fully coated in peanut butter, you will take your bird seed and sprinkle it on top of the peanut butter, like so. Once the roll is completely coated with bird seed, place it on a plate and allow it to dry for at least 30 minutes. Now that your bird feeder has sat and dried for a little bit, you will cut a piece of string and this will be used to hang your bird feeder from a tree. Put one end of the string through the bird feeder and let it come out the other side. And then go find a tree that you want to hang your bird feeder from. Now I'm going to tie my bird feeder to a tree limb. And then cut off the excess string. And there you go. This project can be done at home with a lot of different materials. For example, you could use popsicle sticks and you could change up the bird seed depending on what kind of birds you're trying to attract to your backyard. Have fun making this project at home. This project may require parental supervision because of the scissors and the small seeds from the bird seed.